In the last episode, you saw the life of a man who felt trapped, working hard, surviving, but going nowhere. A man who didn't lose because he was weak, but because he believed he was meant to stay small. Tonight, everything begins to change, not with money, not with opportunity, but with one sentence. Because sometimes a single idea can shake a lifetime of wrong beliefs. The evening that felt like every other, it was late evening. Arjun was returning from work. His body was tired, his mind even more. Streetlights flickered, people rushed past him, everyone looked busy, important, and Arjun felt invisible. He sat down at a quiet bus stop, waiting, not just for transport, but for something to change. That's when he noticed an old man sitting beside him, calm, relaxed, different. The stranger. The old man didn't look rich, but he looked at peace. No hurry, no frustration. Arjun couldn't understand it. How could someone be so calm in a world that crushes people daily? They started talking, simple words, ordinary conversation. Then Arjun asked a question that came straight from his pain. How do people change their lives? The old man smiled and said something unexpected. The sentence. The old man looked at Arjun and said, "If you want to change your life, change the first hour of your day." That's it. No lecture, no motivation speech. Just one sentence. But that sentence hit Arjun like a shock. Change the first hour, not the job, not the salary, not the luck. The old man continued, "Your mornings decide your mindset decides your actions, and your actions decide your future." Then he stood up and walked away, leaving Arjun alone with his thoughts. The night of overthinking. That night, Arjun couldn't sleep. The sentence kept repeating in his head, "Change the first hour." He thought about his mornings, waking up late, rushing, already tired. No time to think, no time to grow, just survival. And suddenly he saw a painful truth. He never owned his mornings, and because of that, he never owned his life. For the first time, Arjun didn't feel hopeless. He felt responsible. The decision at 2:47 a.m. Arjun did something he had never done before. He set an alarm. 5 a.m. His finger hovered over the phone. Fear whispered, "You'll fail. You won't wake up. You're not that kind of person." But another voice spoke softly. "What if this is the beginning?" He pressed set and lay down, not knowing that the hardest battle of his life was waiting for him in the morning. Cliffhanger. At exactly 5 a.m. The silent life. There was a time when Arav believed he was doing everything right. He woke up early, went to work, answered every call, helped everyone who asked. From the outside, his life looked stable, but inside, something was missing. Every night when the world went quiet, Arav felt a strange emptiness, not sadness, not anger, just silence. The kind of silence that asks a question you're afraid to answer. When did I stop living for myself? A life built for others. Arav was known as the reliable one, the friend who always showed up, the son who never complained, the employee who never said no. People trusted him, but nobody noticed that every yes was slowly erasing him. He postponed his dreams, ignored his exhaustion, silenced his own thoughts. Because somewhere along the way he learned something dangerous, that being needed was the same as being valued. And so he kept giving, until one day he had nothing left to give himself. The breaking point. One evening, Arav sat alone in his room, phone in his hand, messages unanswered. notifications piling up. For the first time, he didn't feel like replying. Not because he was busy, because he was tired of being available to everyone except himself. He looked into the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. Not physically, emotionally. That night he whispered something he had never said before. "I am tired of disappearing." A question that changed everything. The next morning, Arav took a walk alone. No phone, no music, just him and his thoughts. And a question kept repeating, "What do I want?" Not what others expect, not what looks impressive, not what feels safe. What do I want? At first, there was no answer, because when you ignore yourself for too long, your voice becomes quiet. But slowly, memories surfaced, dreams he once had, things that excited him, moments when he felt alive. And for the first time in years, he listened. The hard truth. Arav realized something painful. Nobody forced him to abandon himself. He did it to avoid conflict, to avoid disappointment, to avoid being misunderstood. Focusing on others felt easier than facing his own potential. But comfort came at a cost, and the cost was his identity. That day, Arav made a decision. Not a dramatic one, not a loud one, a quiet promise. I will start focusing on myself. The loneliness of growth. The change wasn't celebrated. Some people didn't like the new boundaries. Some called him selfish. Some slowly disappeared. And it hurt, because growth often feels like loss before it feels like freedom. There were nights Arav questioned himself. Am I doing the right thing? But deep inside, for the first time, he felt aligned, calm, centered. Rediscovering himself, Arav began spending time alone, reading, writing, thinking. He started doing things without posting them, without explaining them. He learned to enjoy progress in silence. And something powerful happened. The more he focused on himself, the less external noise mattered. Opinions lost control, comparison faded, peace grew. The power of detachment. Arav stopped chasing validation. He worked when no one was watching. He rested without guilt. He said no without apology. And slowly, confidence returned. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't need proof. He realized when you focus on yourself, you stop reacting and start responding. A new way of living life didn't become perfect. Problems still existed, challenges still came. But Arav was different. He no longer lost himself in chaos, because now his life was built around alignment, not approval. And for the first time, he felt whole. A message for you. If this story feels familiar, it's because it's not just Arav's story. It's yours. Maybe you've been giving too much. Maybe you've been silent too long. Maybe you forgot that your life is also important. Let this be your reminder. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It's survival. It's self-respect. It's growth. And when you finally choose yourself, life changes. Quietly, powerfully, permanently.